from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Last year, there were record-breaking numbers of organ donors across the country.
Nationally, it's being attributed to the rise in opioid overdoses. 2017 was another record year. According to the United Network for Organ Sharing, 2017 saw the highest amount of decreased organ donors ever for the 5th straight year. But surprisingly, in the Midwest, opioid overdose donors decreased last year, despite having a record number of total donors.
The need for organ donors is still great. Valley News Team's Ryan Laughlin tells us the story of a man who's helping honor his family by informing others about organ donation.
Year and a half on my deer heads, 2 years on everything else.
Chris Cantler's business is taxidermy.
You know, and this is the showroom, so this has got the finished stuff in here.
But his passion?
You can enhance, I think it's up to 60 people. You can make their lives better.
Is informing others about organ donation. It started with his father, who had received 2 heart transplants and a kidney transplant over the course of his life. But then the script flipped.
She just had an incredible personality. She had an incredible laugh.
His family had scheduled an early Christmas on December 23rd back in 2010 because a storm was coming.
On the way in, they hit a patch of black ice, and their car spun around backwards, and they hit the bridge abutment right there.
His granddaughter, 11-month-old Kirsten Book, was in her car seat.
She didn't have a scratch. And they said it was like shaken baby times a million. She had brain swelling.
1 day later, she died. And that's when they had to make the decision as to whether or not to donate her organs.
That was the easiest decision they've ever made.
But then the race was on.
And the weather did come in, and they weren't able to make it before she passed away. But they were still able to recover her heart valves.
Kirsten's life would give life to others.
I think that's been there for 7 years.
Now in his shop, on his wrist and tattooed on his arm are reminders of how his granddaughter is living on.
Every time I get to tell her story, say her name out loud, there's that many more people that know that she was alive.
Kirsten Book would have been 9 years old yesterday. From Abercrombie, North Dakota, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
Cantler is now an ambassador for LifeSource. They said they had a record of 184 organ donors this year who donated 586 different organs. There were 568 tissue donors that have the potential to heal up to 42,000 lives. And there are nearly 3,500 people still waiting for a life-saving transplant in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. If you want information on how you can sign up to be a donor, there's a link on our website. Just click on this story at valleynewslive.com.
Wow, what a change in the weather today, and certainly a welcome change. Hutch, what's happening this evening? Still nice?
It's beautiful out there, a beautiful, colorful sunset this evening. And as you look at the latest from the Storm Team Skycam network, we got one cloud drifting out there. We'll call it an altocumulus standalonus, Mike, because it's all by itself. Here is a look at temperatures. Fargo, 31 degrees. That's warmer than Atlanta by almost 10 degrees. Little Rock, 19, and warmer air still will be pushing in from the west, where we have 30s to near 40s across the central portions of South Dakota. A little band of light precipitation working its way through southern Canada could influence our northern counties this evening, but here, temperatures slipping below freezing. The wind will remain robust at about 15 miles per hour, so watch for those slippery road conditions throughout the valley once again. I'll have details on the real warm-up coming up here in just a few moments.
No sign of a blobcast anywhere?
No, we'll leave that one in the back pocket for some time later.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, yes.
And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. Download it for free.
We're following a developing story out of North Fargo. We are still working with limited information as police investigate a fatal crash from this morning. But 2 people claiming to be family members of the deceased tell Valley News Live that the person killed was their brother who was on his way to work. Police have not confirmed that at this time. It all happened around 6:45 this morning on a very busy stretch of road near the airport. It was between 40th Avenue North and 25th Street North. A car was traveling east when it crashed head-on into a pickup heading in the opposite direction. Police are releasing very few details, but have confirmed there is a fatality.
The driver of the vehicle was killed as a result of the accident, and the driver of the other vehicle was transported to a local hospital.
A large portion of 40th Avenue North was closed for nearly 6 hours and didn't reopen until around noon. Police say they don't know the exact cause of the accident or if weather played a role.
Officials with the North Dakota Department of Health say they're continuing to monitor the area where a semi leaked diesel fuel and canola oil into a river after crashing into a bridge near Hillsboro. They report about 10 gallons of fuel was spilled, along with an unknown amount of the canola oil. The spill happened Monday night about 5 miles south of Hillsboro. A semi-driver crashed into a guardrail, slid off a bridge that crosses the Elm River. That's when the fuel leaked, and the oil leaked as well onto snow covering the Elm River below. The impacted snow has been removed from that area.
2 women were taken to a hospital after a 2-car crash in Todd County this morning. It happened here on Highway 10 at 12th Street in Staples, Minnesota. 55-year-old Nola Schultz of Verndale was heading west on Highway 10, and so was 58-year-old Robin DeLong of Motley. Schultz tried making a U-turn in front of DeLong's vehicle, and the two collided. Both women were taken to a nearby hospital for injuries that are not life-threatening.
The trial date for one of the 2 people that are charged in the murder of Savannah Graywin has been pushed back. The trial for 32-year-old William Hain has been moved from March to May 15th. This is going to give lawyers more time to prepare their cases. Hain has pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit murder and kidnapping in the death of Graywin. Hain's girlfriend, Brooke Cruz, has already pleaded guilty in this case and will be sentenced February 2nd. Graywin was 8 months pregnant when she disappeared in August. Her body was found about a week later. Her baby was found alive in Cruz and Hain's apartment in Fargo.
A Fargo man involved in a standoff with police has now been sentenced after pleading guilty to 1 charge this morning. Tate Smith Nerline will serve 6 months in a halfway house, followed by 18 months of probation. He'll get credit for time already served behind bars. He pleaded guilty to a reckless endangerment charge. 3 other charges, aggravated assault, terrorizing, and preventing arrest, were dismissed. Smith Nerline held police at bay for 5 hours back in August after he attacked a woman who later jumped out a window to escape and call police. When officers arrived, they thought they heard a gunshot and called in SWAT to set up communications with Smith Nerline. A search of the home after the incident found several fireworks, but no gun.
A deal's been struck to prevent a Denver woman accused of shooting at officers during pipeline protests in North Dakota from serving a long time in prison. If a judge agrees with the deal, Red Fawn Fallis would plead guilty to civil disorder and gun possession by a convicted felon. Prosecutors would drop the more serious weapons charge. That carries a minimum sentence of 10 years in prison with the possibility of life.
More than 1,800 people in the community own a share of the new Prairie Roots Food Co-op, and the business is still growing. The co-op grocery store has been open for 6 months, and they've been busy making changes based on what the community is asking for. Prices have been lowered, signs for your shopping essentials have been added, and pictures of local farmers are on the walls. Prairie Roots also has lunch and dinner at their hot bar located in the deli section. The store is open until 8 p.m. tonight.
Maybe not tonight, but I got to check it out sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Later on Valley News Live at 6, technology now allows you to keep up on where North Dakota snowplows are working.
Up next, if you're still in need of a flu shot, where you can go to get one for a bargain.